Hi everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and I'm going to do a little video on a wool winder. It's my brand new toy and I absolutely love it, and I just wanted to show you all because anyone that works with yarn a lot, I really think should invest in one of these. And I know that a lot of people have them. They are such a brilliant tool, but it's taken me a few years to come around to the idea that I actually needed one. And I looked at them a couple of years ago, and I don't know why I didn't get one. Or maybe I just thought it was too expensive for me at the time, but actually they're not very expensive at all. I bought this one off eBay, my favourite place, and with postage in the UK it was £23 something altogether. So, you know, I think it was like £18 just for the actual the wool winder. My new best friend, I could hug it. I tell you, it's just made such a difference to the way I use yarn, because I have to say, a pet hate is that the ball of yarn just launches itself across the room when you're trying to work with it, and then the cat gets it, or you know, ends up in your cup of tea or whatever. But you know, this wool winder makes balls of wool like this just fabulous, and you work with taking the yarn out the middle, which just, you know, eliminates any need to chase after your ball of yarn. And yeah, it's coneless, this one, which means that you know, there is nothing in the middle. It's just pushes down together. And another point about it is that it gives an even tension to what you're winding. So if you were hand winding a ball of yarn, there is a possibility that you could wind it too tightly, which means that you'll be stretching the fibres, which will pull it too thin, and then your you know, your work will be odd. Okay, so here we are, the lovely wool winder. I guess you probably don't want to look at the picture anymore, you want to see what's inside the box, so I'll just open it, because this is its little home. I put it away nicely each time I finished using it. I know, it's sad, isn't it? Okay, so this is how it comes. No frills, I love it, just how things should be. And this bit is the cone, obviously, that we wind the yarn onto, and it has these little teeth underneath which attach it securely to the main unit here, which yeah, you can see where it slides around into those and locks into position, otherwise your cone will fly off. And we have a tension arm here which just slides in and you pull it out tight, and that's what makes sure that the tension going onto the cone is nice and even. You do have to hold the yarn at an even tension going into that loop, but the machine does the rest for you. And here we have the handle, which the instructions say you should always turn in a clockwise motion, but the temptation to do anti-clockwise is irresistible. So also on the front here we have this dial, and that tells me to loosen one way and tighten the other. And what that does is that it releases this foot down here, and I think, if I remember rightly, that goes down to, I think it was over an inch, maybe an inch and a half, possibly. I'll have to check the box, but I think it said an inch and a half, which means that you can slide that onto the table side and clamp it down by tightening it up again. You can see my finger's about to get trapped in there. Okay, so, and what else is in the box? How to use the wool winder. So, as you can see there, it shows the wool winder being attached to a table or a sturdy surface, and it shows how the spindle, the geared base, and there's only five lines of instructions, so that's not too difficult. Yeah, up to 1 1/4 inch, so 1 1/4 inch for your table, but I suppose that'll, unless you've got a really lovely sturdy table, most people will be able to accommodate that. So yeah, not much in the way of instructions, and I'm going to run through how to use the wool winder just now, coming up. Okay, so I've got it clamped to the table now, using the knobbly thing. We're ready to spin it round. So what you need to do is you need to pull out the the arm, which is the tension on it. Let me just check that this is down nice and properly. And what we're going to do is put the cone on, which has these kind of little grip things here, you can see, and on here there are little latches to, I wonder if I can zoom in. Don't know if you can see them. Yeah, there they are, and that's what these go under. So you just put it on and twist it, then it won't come off. You can't pull it off then. Okay, zoom back out. Okay, so you need to get your yarn, and we'll use this one, and you just need to let that fall freely onto the floor. And the only thing about this is that you will definitely need to hold some tension from the yarn to the actual machine. So you take your yarn and you loop it twice, so it is now in that coiled bit just there. You can see that it's now in that hole there. Okay, so on the top, as I showed before, there's these little grooves, and what I do is I put a bit across the top like that, and then I put that back over itself so that it kind of has a double grip, and that way it stops the tail end from getting caught underneath what we're winding on. It makes it easier at the end. Okay, so you need to get some slack off the ball of yarn you're going to wind from, and you need to hold this quite taut. You don't want to put it too much, but you want to make sure it has a nice even tension. This will take up the tension here, but you want to make sure that this isn't loose here. I hope that makes sense. So don't put it too tight so you can't wind it round, but make sure it's got a nice even tension. And then you just turn the wheel in a clockwise motion, and as you can see, it winds on really nicely. Don't go too fast, and when now this is tight, which means that I've caught up with my tension. As the ball gets smaller, that it doesn't get so heavy, so you can sort of, it will wind itself a bit easier, but to begin with you do need to take off some of the slack. Maybe I have thought about holding, and I have seen on videos on YouTube, the ball of yarn being placed into a carrier bag and then over the wrist of whoever's spinning the machine, which would work, but I don't have one at the minute, so I'm not going to do that, and it'd be noisy on the video. So I'm just going to carry on winding, and as you can see, you know, that's not too difficult, is it? And this is just a brilliant little machine, and you can see there, see where it pulls, this bit is pulling, it's just where the ball of yarn is just unravelling a little bit. Don't hold it too tight, but do make sure you keep that tension. If I just let go of it a bit, you'll see that this bit drops down here, and if you wind like that it will be loose at the end, so just keep that in mind, and that will just make sure you have a nice ball of yarn at the end. So I'm just gonna do this whole ball of yarn, and I'll speed this up because it could get pretty boring, but you know, I want to show you the end result, plus it's fun. Okay, so now I'm just going to wind up the very last bit of my yarn, and as you could see I got into a little pickle there because it always happens that the yarn always gets into a right mess, and that's the main reason why I bought one of these, because I was really fed up with it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. So to finish off, I've seen people tie knots into the end, and that's fine, but I don't really know a knot that is, well, it doesn't work for me. It sort of unravels, and I was thinking that I could actually put the paper round that you get with the yarn, because from now the yarn, you will pull the yarn from the middle, which is always nicer because it doesn't spin around the room like I mentioned before. So at the moment I'm just using some of this well, it's magic tape, isn't it? We know what it's the tape that you can write onto, and it's the not very sticky stuff. It's not the sellotape, you know, the shiny one. And if you just want to if you just put it on your clothes and get some fibres onto it, then that makes it less sticky as well. You can see I've just put it on my jeans. I don't know if you can see that. So, you know, you don't go for the ultra sticky ones, but this tape I find is working quite nicely for me at the moment, and I literally just stick the end down. I know that's probably not the best way, but I haven't had any problems with my yarns doing it that way. Okay, so now we need to take it off here. So you just release the end bit that we'd put into the grooves, and that is the bit that you will work with from now on. So what you need to do is a nice confident movement. You put your thumbs in the middle, and then you just slide it up off the cone, and then look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I absolutely love that. And it's nice and sturdy, it's not wound too tight, you haven't stretched your yarn, which is the worst thing you can do, because you end up then with thin and uneven thickness of yarn. So, you know, it just closes up naturally, and you just pull from the middle, and it's easy, it's smooth, and the ball's not running around the room, you're not trying to catch it, and just makes things so much nicer for knitters and crocheters, or anyone that uses yarn for any reason whatsoever. I think this machine is absolutely fantastic, and you know, it's very satisfying. It really is. Well, to me it is. So if you don't want to wind your yarns, I'm happy to wind them for you. So yeah, that's my little review of the let me get the box here, of the wool winder. So yeah, there it is. Lovely little old-fashioned thing, works perfectly, doesn't need to be changed, it's just perfect the way it is. Okay, thanks for watching my little review, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks, bye.